All right. So this is a clip of the Soviet Red Army team. I think circa 1985 is probably a good guess. Somewhere near the early 80s, mid 80s, maybe late 70s, but it looks more like 80s. Okay, I'm just gonna let it run for a second, and then 10 seconds here, and then we're gonna talk about it. Ends up in a shot. Now, I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if he scored. I don't know if it was tipped in. I don't know what happened. But let's back this up. And I want to show a moment in time here. We can just see in the top left corner there's a defenseman. We see 3 Red Army players in this frame here. We're going to see a 4th one come in right here. So there's 1 in the zone, 1 on the blue line, 1 just over the blue line, and now 1 just over the red line in the neutral zone. And then we're going to see another player come in here, and there's 5. So all 5 of their players are on this side of the ice. And in fact, 4 of their players are really fairly close to each other. Okay, and so this kind of brings up my first thought when I watch this is they're actually kind of defying what we as coaches like to say, which is spread out, right? If this were a youth game, we would be telling the player who's at the top there by the logo to not be so in the middle of the ice. Get over to your wing, right? And then if we also kind of see which direction this player who's coming into the frame from the right is coming, he's actually skating towards all of his other teammates. Well, that's weird, right? Don't we? He's come all the way from down near their zone to skate across the red line and skate directly towards 3 of his players, actually 4 if you count the guy that's all the way back over there to the left that we can't see anymore. That's sort of odd, right? We don't see that very often. And then I want you to watch this player here who's on the blue line. Watch where he goes. He's just going to skate straight up ice. Okay? And he doesn't get the puck until right there. So all he really did was skate from the dot to the dot. Okay? Now we're going to watch this player right here with his stick up in the air right there. He's being hooked. Back in the day, back then, they used to hook and grab a lot more. They've kind of cleaned that up. So if you do that now, you're going to get called for a hooking penalty. But he's kind of lifted his arm to kind of shake free, okay? Not really sure where this puck came from. If you see the movement of the puck just a little bit, it looks like it's sort of sliding a little bit over towards the dot. He might have just dished it and then the guy hooked him. I'm not really sure. It looks like his stick might have been down. But I want you to watch him. So he's going to curl in a big curl around to his right from the middle of the ice. He's going to then curl back across, slow up a little bit to give this guy a little more time. Then he's going to curl again. Again, we're not looking at this puck carrier. We're looking at this guy down here, okay? Now he's going to get the puck as he enters the zone. Then he's going to go down and make a drop pass, okay? Now, where'd that guy come from? Who's that guy? Well, that's the guy right there. So he's going to this guy's going to take the puck. He's going to wheel around. He's going to curl around. He's going to hit this guy as he enters the blue line. Now he's going to curl around. And then he slides back to get that puck, okay? Look at that. I mean, that is just incredible. The weave, back and forth, back and forth. Look at that. I can't even keep them straight. So the guy skates directly to the dots, gets that puck, immediately slows down. Why does he slow down? Why? I thought we're supposed to skate hard. I thought we're supposed to bust into that zone and go full bore right at it. Well, if we look at what the defense has. The defense is 3 across. I'm not saying that he can't beat him, but he's not going to look to beat him. He's going to look to pass that puck. And look at the options that he has. Okay? He holds. Those defenders are sort of sliding away from him. Look, they're actually creating more space for him. All he did was stop. Now he dishes it off. More space is created. And watch this guy from behind. He kind of follows him. Okay? That's the guy that passed it from the middle of the ice. He passed it over to 27, who picks it up, slams on the brakes. Okay? That was the guy that skated up the dots. The guy that now curls over around the dots is the one that's going to get the next pass. And then the guy that had passed the original pass as they entered the zone is going to be the one who's going to cut behind this other player and pick up another pass. Okay? Now, that player who had stopped is going to mobilize. Now he's going to start. He's going to get back going towards the net. And look at all the space he's got now. He's got tons of space. This guy's going to immediately collapse down on him because he's a good defenseman and he knows, I got to crunch down on this guy. And this guy behind him is going to come down on him. And look what happens. He curls away again and gets his head up and looks back. And here comes the final guy to come in and rip a shot. I mean, the artistry of this. The defenders have no idea how to play this. They don't really understand what the heck is going on. They probably watched it on video, okay? But these guys are all over the place. Look at them go. Look at the circling. Look at how 2 players are working away and 2 players are working together. There's a contraction. Look, all of them are in a line, and now the line in the middle, the line in that, those 2 spread out while these 2 start to collapse. Okay? Now we've got another 2 that start to converge towards each other and cross. And then they're going to spread out again. Then they're going to cross. Right? They follow behind each other. Look at how they're always following behind. This player following behind that other player who cuts away. This player cuts towards him. Just a classic, incredible weave that ends up in a shot. Now, what I want you to also look at is this spot right here, okay? We can see 4 white jerseys, 5. There's 5. Top left corner, right here. 3 down there on the near the dot. 4, 5. One guy's kind of below the goal line. One guy's below the dot. So there's 3, 4, and then 5 up there, okay? But look right at this moment in time, right there, how much space is over here, okay? How much space is over there? Look at how all eyes are on that puck carrier. One of the plays that they would often make, and you'll see it right here, is that there's another player right up here that he would come cutting into the lane like that. So he would come cutting right hard to the far circle, cutting in over here while this player is making that curl. And if this player here, this defender up here, if that guy doesn't stay with his man, it's a goal. And it's one of those goals where it's like a complete slide goal, like a backdoor feed, okay? Now, that's standard hockey for us now. That's not really that dramatic, that part of it, okay? But that was really innovative and cutting edge at the time. And this stuff back here, all of this weaving back and forth, all that weaving back and forth and little dinky passes and curling and cutting behind players and tucking it back, all of that, that was new. That was new at the time. And to some extent, they've adopted this in the NHL, but not like this. Not like this. No, they do some of this stuff, but the amount of little dishes. Look at how that puck is barely moving, and he curls away and lets his partner take it. And as this guy curls away, look at where his head is. He immediately knows that there's another guy who's actually skating right towards him. Right here, that guy is actually behind that defender and skating right towards him. So he can just dish it off into soft ice. And right there, there's 3 players that could actually pick up that puck. So it's a really safe pass, and no players in white that can pick up that puck. This guy picks it up. These guys know exactly what to do. This guy crosses away from him. Look at how he's behind him. He knows where he's going to go. And look at how he's occupying the eyes of 2 defenders in white. Right? So these guys are both latched onto him. Well, they're not watching this guy. This guy just skated up the center of the ice. Nobody's watching him. He just looks like he's going to bust into the zone. And then right here, he cuts over. And when he cuts over, he wants to draw the eyes of this other defenseman. Look, the other defenseman in the middle starts to slide towards him. He's got the eyes of 2, 3 defensemen now. Okay? When he does that, he's just going to freeze. He doesn't freeze for very long. He doesn't slam on the brakes and just stay there forever. He just moves the puck over to the next man in the sequence, who then drops it back to the next man in the sequence. And this guy, again, this guy came, he stopped, he stood, he waited. Now he activates. Look at where those guys are. When they were close to him, they were outside the circle. Now they're near the dots in a line. So he's got tons of room. He picks up that puck, and he starts his own curl. Instead of attacking the goal, instead of saying, I'm going to try to bust in on the left here, cut through the dot, what he decides to do is circle back. And so that finish, if you look at some of the Soviet finishes, is actually fairly mundane, meaning it's not super special. Again, even let's say that went in or that was tipped or caused a face-off or something. Goalie covered it. That wasn't like a spectacular finish to that play. But what it was a spectacular neutral zone movement through the neutral zone. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 passes. And maybe even 7 if you look at it from the perspective of that might be a pass there. Okay? Just spectacular. Spectacular puck movement and control. And I'm not saying that they're not skating fast. Okay? Not saying that. But when you see it, it's not like hair on fire fast. They're moving, okay? But they're under control. They're using their time. They're using their space. If they ever feel like they're going to run out of space, right here, he kind of just holds up and says, let me create a little more space, okay? But this part of it right here, I think, is really interesting for a lot of coaches to watch. Again, there's 1, 2, 3 in red, 4 in red, 5 in red. So if we think about, there it is, there's 5 players all within a small area of each other. That's a big no-no in youth hockey. And even in higher level hockey, they're gonna say spread out. But they understand each other. They understand how to use this weave. They understand how all that works out. And then here comes the defenseman late. That's the defenseman that was right down there, I think, right there. He's now backing out of the play down here in the left corner. I'm assuming, okay? I'm assuming that's the guy who's now going to show up late and hit this shot, because there's another guy over there, okay, on the left. So I'm assuming that guy right here is the one that ended up over there on the right, on the left, right there. But I don't know. See if I can see their number. But here's the interesting part. That guy was coming towards that other player. So he looks like he might have been a forward, not a defenseman. Okay? That guy right there who's coming off the blue line might have been a defenseman. But, you know, I've heard coaches say this before in the flow game, in this Euro style, as we used to call it when it first came in, there are really no positions. It's all where you tend to find yourself, okay? And so I could probably go back if I really wanted to know and find out if I can't even tell what that number is. Could be a 5, could be a 9, 2, I don't know, 3? No, I think it's a 3, okay? What number 3 on the Soviet Red Army team was listed as, okay? Right here, he seems to be coming from the offensive zone. Those two guys are the farthest back, blue line and then inside the zone. So in theory, those would be the defensemen. So this guy's a forward. He comes back. He goes here. Maybe he's staying back because this guy is actually a defenseman. So he hangs back. That guy goes up into the play. He receives the zone entry pass. He stops. He doesn't go, okay, I need to go back to my point now. If he is a defenseman, he waits. Now he activates. Now he comes back up and hits a guy who's playing in his spot, maybe. Okay, and this guy acts accordingly. But maybe not. I don't know. But what you'd see in youth hockey here is this guy, if he is a defenseman off that blue line, he's not going to skate up with that play. Okay? And if you see this guy right here, he's going to turn and try to go up the boards. Okay? And this guy who's coming back into the play would never really be skating towards 3 of his players and would never receive that. Okay? And if he did, right here, he's going to try to bust wide or he's going to try to enter the zone all on his own. He's going for the goal. Okay? Then this guy, if he does get that pass, he's going to cut to the goal right there. He's going to try to take those guys on. Okay? And then if he does end up stopping by this right there to make that pass, he makes this pass. This guy, he's going to go and he's going to beat this guy wide or he's going to carry behind the net. Okay? And then if he does make this drop pass, this guy's going to shoot or this guy's going to keep walking in. You can see it almost looks like he fakes a shot and that guy starts to turn his toes to try to block a shot. Okay? Instead, he passes to a guy who just reactivated. The question is, in youth hockey, would that guy activate? Would he go in and start to pressure? Okay, and then he catches this. What's he going to do? He's going to try to toe drag and pull it across and try to get a shot. Oh, and then he turns. Is he going to hit this guy with a pass? I don't know. That seems like asking a lot. These guys are incredibly special hockey players that literally changed the way that the game is played and thought about. Okay? But I think we can learn so much from scenarios. And when we say, would we ever do that? Would we ourselves or we as a coach, would we ever ask our players to do that? Would you ever think as a coach it's acceptable for this player coming into the zone, coming into the frame to skate within maybe 15 feet of 2 players and 10 feet of another player? And just skate right at his own players like that? And then curl behind like this? Now, once they started doing it, you realize what an incredible play that is, right? This guy's sort of up there by the logo, just across the red line, occupying 2 players. These guys are having a really hard time trying to figure out where that puck even is. Watch their heads. Watch the guys in white. Look at how they're still looking over here. They don't realize for a moment that guy even has the puck. It's not till about right there they go, oh, man, that guy's got the puck. Because they probably thought these two guys here, the guy on the red line right now might have had the puck. They're trying to figure it out. Then they get here and they go, okay, he's got it. Now, let's go and get this guy. Well, now all of a sudden, no, this guy's got it. Okay, I'll come over and try to help. Where's it going now? Watch him just slide away, doing nothing. Covering nobody, covering ice, right? Now this guy says, okay, I'm not going to let him beat me wide. I'm going to challenge him. Well, he's got somebody standing right behind him, 6 feet, 7 feet away. Oh, he's going to shoot. No, he's going to pass. Oh, he's going to get the puck and score. No. Look, I'm going to take a swing at it. Watch. Defenseman takes this big swing. Defenseman takes this big swing at that puck. Right here. Okay, he swings at it. He's like, give me that. Nope. I'm going to go back the other way. Oh, there's a guy cutting to the center of the ice all by himself. Big shooting lane. Nobody there to defend. Nobody's high enough. They're all sort of chasing ghosts, curling around. And he easily could have slid that over D to D if he wanted to. He could have probably dumped it in the wall, down the wall, and started a cycle. But he easily had another look at it, a good look at it. Study that. Watch it over and over and over again. Just put it on and do this. And just watch it. And then try to trace where those players go. Wish I had a wider angle of it, but just try to think about where they're going. Try to put yourself in this guy's shoes. Right here. Think about what he's about to do. Watch him. Say to yourself, okay, if that were me, he's going to kind of wait for that guy to clear. He's going to pick his feet up. He's not going terribly fast. He's going. Now he goes into a wide stance. He checks his speed. He knows he's just a touch in front. So he slows down and he curls in. And then he just casually stops. That was a really simple play. But look at how he lets these players weave around him and it doesn't get distracted. Then he slams on the brakes, makes a quick little pass. He waits. Now cuts to the goal, curls, head up, slide back. He really didn't do much. Honestly, he really didn't do much. Couple strides. How many strides does he take? Couple quick start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 strides. Makes a turn. Stops. Pass. Nothing to it. Cuts to the goal. Tight turn away. Pass. All right? He's not skating super hard. I'm not saying that to make you think you don't need to skate hard. What I'm saying that for is that to show you that it was really, really simple what he did. We can pick another player. Pick this guy here who lifts his stick up in the air. Crossover. Turn away to bleed speed. Gliding. Curling. 1, 2 stride. Drop pass. Okay, let's take the other guy. The other guy comes in. I'm assuming he was striding in there. Picks up the puck on the curl. Crossover. Pass. Gliding, curling, waiting. Picks up the puck. Doesn't dust it off. Doesn't do anything with it. Just corrals it. Wide stance, pass. Okay, super simple stuff, guys. All the skating stuff looks spectacular and looks special, but it's actually quite simple. Very simple mechanics. Nothing spectacular, nothing super fancy. Nobody's doing all these crazy 10 and 2s. Nobody's doing, all kinds of super special stuff. They're just weaving in and out of each other in a way that, again, we never really saw when we were younger.